Well, today I spoke with the Prime Minister himself in an exclusive interview. Abdullah Hamdock started by offering more insight on why he took the deal and told me what he thinks is ahead for Sudan. Have a listen.
There is no perfect agreement. There is a good agreement. There is a workable agreement. There is a possible agreement that would allow things to be normalized and allow the country to move forward. We basically signed this agreement for us to save the lives of our people, avoid bloodshed, and be able to put the country back. There are so many other reasons that compelled us to go into this agreement. Among them, I think we would like to preserve the achievements that we have achieved in the last 2 years, specifically in 2 areas, in the economy and peace, and I could elaborate further. There is also an impasse, both nationally, domestically, and internationally. This agreement has a great potential in unblocking this. And I think more importantly is to allow us to go back to the political process that would allow us to reach the election point and hand over power to an elected people and allow the Sudanese people to choose a government of their choice. So that's why we went into this agreement.
Personally, do you feel humiliated by it, though?
No, I don't feel humiliated for one reason. I had to take the right decision in the interests of the country. It's not a personal issue for me.
You have spoken to the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, who, as I understand it, told you that this agreement was only a, quote, first step in restoring Sudan's democratic transition. Have you had conversations about restarting the $700 million aid at this point? Is that forthcoming?
We hope so. We hope as we progress in implementing this agreement, we will be able to restore the momentum that was created over the last years. There is a lot we know that needs to be done, both domestically and internationally and all that. But I think we are determined to take the country in that direction.
Let's talk about the agreement itself then. You signed a deal with the same military who just recently had you under house arrest. The same military who led a coup last month and has killed over 40 protesters. Why would you sign this agreement? And why do you believe this agreement is the way forward for Sudan?
We regret all the bloodshed, the loss of our people. The Sudanese blood is very precious. But we signed this agreement precisely to avoid further bloodshed, further catastrophes. We live in a region we know so well. If you do not go into a serious process of reaching a compromise that would allow things to normalize and get back, the alternatives could be even having more consequences and could lead to even more bloodshed. So what we did is precisely to stop that. The guarantees for this agreement to be implemented, we do not have a signed check to say that it will be implemented, but that will rely on the goodwill of both sides and on the will of our people. As I said, there is no perfect agreement. We will address its deficiencies, its problems, and I think we'll put it to the test. The final outcome will be determined by the Sudanese people.
Well, before that, you've said that you're relying on the will of all sides. Are you confident that the military will stick to their promises with this new agreement. This is the same military who dismantled the previous agreement, dissolved the government, arrested government officials and killed scores of protesters, killing one 16-year-old boy just an hour after the agreement was signed. Do you truly believe they will hand over power peacefully and securely to a civilian government when it is time?
I believe so, and I think we are going to start working on a roadmap in the next 18 months. It is just about enough to organize a credible election. We will set a firm date, which is now we are talking about July 2023, and work backward to establish a firm roadmap that will lead us to that date. And I think we will establish those benchmarks and we will take it one at a time, hoping that this will create the momentum for us to reach that dotted line.
What's your message to the protesters on the streets today, the ones calling for an end to the military rule, even some who are calling your move a betrayal?
I fully appreciate and understand their anger, their frustration, but I want them to understand also the consequences could have been much graver, much more serious.
Several major pro-democracy groups have come out against this deal, opposing any new political partnership with the military and saying that the perpetrators of the coup should be brought to justice. Ultimately, do you agree? And if so, what will you do to that end going forward?
There is a perfect agreement and there is a workable agreement. If you will be waiting for a perfect agreement, you will wait for so long and it will be too late. What we did is to save our country. We know it's imperfect, it has deficiencies, it has problems, it disappointed so many people. We appreciate that. But I think we took this decision in the interest of our country and our people. And we do not want our country to take the same route and the same fate of catastrophic examples in our region.
So have all of the political prisoners now been released?
Not all of them. There are about 31 prisoners. Up to yesterday evening, they have released 9 of them. We are working on releasing the rest. This is number 1 agenda item in my on my calendar, on my table, and I will not rest until all of them are released. This is key, and this will put this whole agreement to test.
Ibrahim Madawi told me he thinks the future of Sudan is looking quite bleak. Is that how you see it?
No, that's not how I see it. I see a bumpy road. I see a challenging road ahead of us. I have always been an optimist. That's why I'm still continuing this job. The day I feel I could not do anything, I will not be staying here. My job is to create that hope and give the Sudanese people reason to look for a brighter future.
The region is fragile at present. Let's be quite frank. How concerned are you about what is happening next door to you in Ethiopia?
We were very much concerned. We voiced this so many times. We know that anything happening in Ethiopia affect us and vice versa is true. Ethiopia is a nation of more than 110 million. And God forbid if anything is to happen to Ethiopia, come to a close collapse or anything like that, Sudan will be at the front line, receiving all the consequences and the challenges and the problems of that. We are already suffering from that. Thousands and thousands of refugees came from there from the start of the war. And if this intensifies, we will be at the receiving end of this. So we are very much concerned, and we hope reason will prevail, and Ethiopia also will be able to address its challenges and problems through national dialogue. War is not a solution.